People's State Bank is a locally owned and managed bank with convenient locations in southwest Wisconsin and northeast Iowa. If you're looking for a place where you're more than just a number, but still have access to convenient technology and low fees, People's State Bank is it. As a community bank, they're proud to support many of the local charities, county fairs, community events, and more. When you become a part of People's State Bank, you can be confident that you're standing with a good cause. People's State Bank, member FDIC.
This is a Queen Bee Radio High School Sports Presentation. Queen Bee Radio proudly brings you People's State Bank and Grant Regional Health Center coverage of high school sports. Presented by Cuba City, Kieler, and Darlington Family Dental, and Carey Seamless Gutters and Overhead Doors. And sponsored by House Electric, Brian's Auto Body and Paint, Tech Incorporated, Carver's Hardwood Flooring, Claire Bank, Donnie's Tire and Auto, Fuller's Milker Center, Gary's Pest Control, Community First Bank, Guy's Truck and Tractor Service, Hernson's Ace Hardware, Krantz Auto Parts, the Peterson Agency, the Raleigh Cheese House, Mound City Bank, the Russell Law Office, the Shoebox, Sloan Implement, Timmerman's Talents, Tricor Insurance, and Wolf Construction.
Good evening and welcome to Lancaster High School. We are ready for the start of our 2024-2025 high school wrestling coverage as the Lancaster Flying Arrows host the MFL MarMac Bulldogs in non-conference high school wrestling action. This is our Grant Regional Health Center and People's State Bank coverage of high school wrestling presented by Cuba City, Kieler, and Darlington Family Dental and Carey Seamless Gutters and Overhead Doors on 97.7 Country WGLR, WGLR.com, and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel. From the Wolf Construction broadcast booth, I'm Tyler Digtanis, and I finally get to say hello, sir, to our now two-time Wrestling Hall of Famer, Chuck Rasmussen. Raz, great to be with you. Great to be back on the air with some high school wrestling, and a fun way to begin our high school wrestling coverage this year as we bring you the fourth year in a row that Lancaster and MFL MarMac going head-to-head in tonight's high school wrestling matchup.
Yeah, it should be a great year. We've got a lot of excellent talent here in Southwest Wisconsin. A lot that you're going to see in another 3 months up at the Kohl Center in Madison, and it's nice to welcome MFL again. And fourth year, you said, we're with MFL?
Fourth year in a row, yep.
And I was talking with one of the coaches here before the match, and he's like, we have to change this next year. We're going to have to move this back, but we really enjoy this relationship that we have with the Lancaster wrestling team and the crowd and all that, too. So they like this. It's a good format.
Yep, and tonight in Lancaster, this is the only home boys dual meet of the season. So parents' night is tonight, senior night is tonight. Some recognition for both you as well as former coach Brad Sturmer, who was just recognized while we went on the air. And, you know, again, for both programs, both teams have some mat time already in there. Lancaster, I believe 7 or 8 matches already under their belt. MFL MarMac, a 7-1 record coming into tonight's matchup. So some experience already as far as, you know, getting the cobwebs shaken off to begin the season, which makes for a very fun matchup tonight as both teams try to get their footing under them.
Yeah, Lancaster already has 7 matches under their belt. They went up to the Reedsburg Duels here a week ago Saturday and then went down to Galena last Tuesday. They're 4-3 in the duels, and so off to a pretty good start. They got a very young team, Lancaster does. They only have 2 seniors on the team. Let me look here too. Lancaster, the 2 seniors, 4 juniors, 10 sophomores, another 4 freshmen. Let me add to that then too. They have 9 ladies out wrestling for Lancaster this year too, and a growing number in the SWC, SWAL, 50 women competing this year. So I think it's going to be an exciting year. You know, you look at the conference. This surprised me. I absolutely shocked me. And I looked again last night, I believe it was. A week ago, Tuesday, I went through, I had a little bit of time and looking at numbers on track wrestling and all that. And there are 2 schools in the SWC, SWAL that don't have 20 or more wrestlers.
Wow.
One is Boscobel, and their numbers are coming up, and the other one that just really took me by surprise is Prairie du Chien. They only have 16 wrestlers right now on their, or as of last night, on their weigh-in schedule of the track wrestling, the weight assessment program. But the numbers are looking good overall. I look at the numbers, well, Belmont-Platteville has 22 this year, Boscobel, Wazekas, Tubin at 18. Cuba City, Benton Southwestern 21. Darlington Blackhawk, good numbers at 29. Dodgeville at 25. Fenimore at 27. Iowa Grant Highland at 33. They lead the pack there. Lancaster at 29. Mineral Point at 32. Carey at 16, and then Richmond Center 23. River Valley 21, and Riverdale 23. It's going to be interesting to see. I think the SWC is going to be up for grabs this year.
Yeah.
Just looking at those numbers, Prairie still has several very good individuals. You look at the whole scheme of things, a lot of good individuals in all of those schools. So it's going to be fun.
Yep, and this is a great way to begin our high school wrestling coverage. And coming up on our Raleigh Cheese pre-match show, we'll talk with Lancaster head coach Tyson Wolf. We'll ask him about the wrestlers on the Russell office's injury report. If you've been injured, contact Russell offices. Their experienced team of personal injury lawyers will fight for your rights and help you get the compensation you deserve. Visit RussellLawWI.com. Also get you the Fuller Smoker Center starting lineups, the colors of the match, and the opening match between Lancaster and MFL MarMac. When our Raleigh Cheese pre-match show continues after this on 97.7 Country, WGLR, and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel.
For residential, commercial, or ag building projects, call on Wolf Construction LLC of Lancaster. Todd Wolf and his crew pride themselves in providing full service for their customers at the highest of quality. Wolf Construction LLC of Lancaster, proud to back our local athletes.
Hi, this is Steve Schmidt, owner of the Shoe Box in downtown Black Earth. We have thousands of pairs of shoes in stock, no waiting. So stop in anytime, specializing in size, selection, and fit. We will save you money. P.S. We measure both feet. Stop into the Shoe Box, the largest shoe store at the north end of Black Earth.
Cheese is the perfect addition to any holiday meal. Hi, this is Christine Raleigh of Raleigh Cheese House. Visit our store for your favorite cheese selections, including our own Dunbarton Blue, Red Rock, and Little Mountain. We customize gift boxes for any budget. Don't forget about our made-to-order cheese trays that everyone will love. Taste the difference of handmade Wisconsin cheese at Raleigh Cheese House. Visit us on Facebook, RaleighCheese.com, or on the corner of Highways 11 and 23, Shellsburg.
Attention business owners. Are you tired of monthly fees eating into your profits? Look no further than People's State Bank. People's State Bank's business checking account has no monthly service charge. Yes, you heard that right. 0 monthly service charges. But that's not all. Enjoy free ATM and debit cards, free online and mobile banking, and free bill pay services. With People's State Bank, managing your business finances has never been easier or more affordable. Stop wasting your hard-earned money on unnecessary fees. Switch to People's State Bank today and take care of your business finances. People's State Bank, member FDIC.
West Bend and the Peterson Agency offer just the right insurance protection for your unique business. Just ask the owners of child care centers, beauty salons, fitness facilities, and dozens of other businesses across the Midwest. West Bend and the Peterson Agency understand these businesses and can provide insurance programs tailored to the services they provide. Along with comprehensive coverages, are loss prevention experts who help keep your business safe. To find out more, call the Peterson Agency in Argyle, 608-543-3354.
Pre-match 1.
Welcome back to the Raleigh Cheese Pre-Match Show on 97.7 Country WGLR and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel. High school wrestling tonight with the Lancaster Flying Arrows hosting MFL MarMac in non-conference wrestling action. We're joined by Lancaster Flying Arrows head coach Tyson Wolf. Coach, thanks for joining us. And looking at the early part of the season so far, looks like your record is 4-3, coming off a nice win against Polo on Monday night, 50-30, the final in that one. Talk about the things that you've seen from your team early on in the season, things that you've liked, and maybe some pleasant surprises that you've seen from the team in the early part of this season.
Yeah, for sure. We got the year started off in Reedsburg with 5 duels that day, and we had a lot of great, as I say, older kids, our juniors and seniors, which there's not very many of them, but they did a great job of going out and getting after it and setting the tempo for the year, and the younger kids are following suit. So as the year goes on, we're just looking to build on that and keep wrestling, and it's going to go where it goes. And we preach to the kids, don't worry about the score and just keep scoring points, and it'll take care of itself. So I am thoroughly pleased with our young guys going out and getting after it. So.
Yep, and tonight's going to be a special night. It's the only home boys dual meet of the season, which means that there's a lot of special things going on tonight that normally gets kind of spread out throughout the season. But you got parents' night tonight, senior night, and with that in mind, talk about the seniors on this Lancaster Flying Arrows team and what they've meant to the wrestling program during their time.
Yeah, we only got 2, TJ and Nolan. They've brought in some great leadership this year, and their hard work ethic just shows up day in and day out. They're going to come in with a smile on their face, ready to wrestle, and just teaching little kids the ropes, the younger guys the ropes of how things should be done and the way it needs to be taken care of. And they're great buddies with them. They're both 2-3 sport athletes. So they're with these kids all the time, and they're almost like big brothers to them. So.
Yep, awesome. Tyson Wolf, the head coach of Lancaster Flying Arrows, with us on our Raleigh Cheese pre-match show. Also, some special recognition tonight for the previous head coach, Brad Sturmer, as well as our colleague and our broadcaster tonight, Chuck Rasmussen, getting into another wrestling Hall of Fame just a little while ago. I know how much of an influence from an outside perspective that they have on Flying Arrows wrestling. What have they meant to you, and what have you seen, as far as contribution-wise, that maybe other people don't see for the Flying Arrows program?
Yeah, Chuck's been involved in the Lancaster wrestling program for, I don't know, ever since my dad's been in it, probably. I had Chuck as a coach in middle school, and he's just always wants to be a part of it, always there to help, And when it comes to Brad, I tip my hat to that man, because there's so many things that go unseen behind the scenes with track wrestling and making sure kids are where they're supposed to be, and everybody knows and parents know. And there's definitely a lot of time involved behind the scenes that nobody really sees, except for my wife, as I make her do a lot of it. But, he's great. But yeah, as the impact that they've had on me, they've always there to lend a helping hand, and it's definitely a giant impact on me and as a community, because I'm sure if you look in the gym tonight, most of those people are going to be impacted by those 2 guys in one way, shape, or form. So they just have a huge impact on our community, and we can't thank them enough.
Yep, that's awesome to hear. And then Russell Off's injury report, the health of the team coming into tonight's matchup. Obviously coming off a very successful football season, a deep postseason run on the football side, and then, of course, some athletes coming off other fall sports like cross country and things like that. What's the health of the team coming into tonight's matchup with MFL MarMac?
Oh, we're pretty healthy for the most part. It's wrestling, it's a physical sport, so we're always kind of dinged up here and there, but it's whether you can work through it or not. We're going to be missing Trayton McClamance tonight and Michael Cruel, and we're going to see if Brady McCartney can give her a go tonight. But other than that, we're pretty healthy for the most part, I would say. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's the one time the kids are going to get to wrestle in a packed gym.
Yep, absolutely. And then the matchup tonight with MFL MarMac, it's been a fun home and away series that these 2 programs have had over the last few years. Raz and I have been able to call the action, the previous 3 matchups. And, besides the importance of getting, that valuable mat time for your wrestlers, are there things that you take away from this matchup with MFL MarMac that helps your team down the line? And then what's going to be the key tonight for the Lancaster Flying Arrows this evening?
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy this matchup all the time. It's a great duel. It's two well put together teams. Normally there's not very many forfeits. It's just a great duel, great duel atmosphere. Like most of the time the gyms are packed. It's just, I don't know, like I personally would say there's no better feeling than wrestling in a packed gym under a spotlight and you're the only thing going on. So to give those kids that experience is just great. But yeah, I think the key tonight is just to go out and wrestle. Like, don't let the nerves get too big and just have fun and try and put points on the board.
Yeah, it should be a fun one. We're looking forward to it. Thanks so much for your time, Coach. Have some fun and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
All right, that's Tyson Wolf, head coach of the Lancaster Flying Arrows, and we'll have more on the Raleigh Cheese pre-match show after this on 97.7 Country, WGLR, and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel.
Pre-match 2.
Did you know that Mound City Bank offers free checking to nonprofit organizations? In addition, we offer interest-bearing checking, money market, savings, and certificate of deposit accounts with competitive rates. Every nonprofit checking account includes a free debit card along with many extras. Stop by or call us in Cuba City at 608-744-2141 for more details or any questions. Mound City Bank is proud to be here for you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
For us, our community is at the heart of everything we do. Grant Regional's expanded breast care services are the culmination of our commitment to bringing advanced diagnostic imaging and important care to our patients close to home. We believe early detection is key and have streamlined follow-up care to improve wait times, offer convenience, and give you important peace of mind. We're proud to be a leader in Southwest Wisconsin with the latest innovation and technology for breast health. Grant Regional Health Center. Better health starts here.
Like any business, success in dairying is often determined by who you know rather than what you know. That's why it's good to know the pros at Fuller's. Your Gia dealer. Fuller's is your source for the automated milking systems line and all of the latest in automated milking systems. Make your operation more efficient and profitable and get the most out of your dairy herd by partnering with the experts at Fuller's Milker Center, LLC, your local Gia dealer in Lancaster, Richland Center, and FullersMilkerCenter.com.
This is Ben from Darlington Family Dental. My family and our Darlington Family Dental family wish you and yours all the joys of the season. We are grateful for your business in the past year and look forward to serving you in the new year. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Cuba City, Kieler, and Darlington Family Dental. Keep smiling, Tri-States.
Pre-match 2.
Welcome back to the Raleigh Cheese pre-match show on 97.7 Country, WGLR, and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel. Our high school wrestling coverage begins tonight with MFL MarMac at Lancaster. In non-conference wrestling action, we're now joined by the co-head coach of the MFL MarMac Bulldogs, Chet Bachman. Coach, thanks for joining us and looking at the team's performance so far this wrestling season. A lot of mat time already, a 7-1 overall record, a second-place finish at the Cascade Duels last Friday night. Talk a little bit about the makeup of this MFL MarMac Bulldogs team and the success that your team has had to this point in the season.
Yeah, we got a little bit of both ends here, a little in the middle. We got a few tough kids, and we got some kids that are kind of right about that 500 level, and then we got some kids that are just stepping in and getting their feet wet. So we got a little bit of everything. They kind of surprised me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't quite for sure what we were going to have. We're kind of low on numbers this year, but pretty high on work ethic. So I guess that balances out.
Yep, and you guys are continuing your home and away series with Lancaster. I know this is at least the fourth year in a row that these two programs have gone head-to-head. You guys hosted last year and coming to Lancaster this year. What do you guys take away from this matchup with Lancaster, besides the importance of having mat time for your wrestlers and things like that? Are there particular things that you try and take away from this matchup with Lancaster that helps your team progress and grow as the season goes along?
Well, I think every time you step out on the mat, you're learning, you're growing, you're trying to get better every time. And I think a couple of things that come to mind, and I've been, coaching now for 29 years, and I've seen Lancaster's success over the years. I respect their coaching staff and their athletes, and it seemed like they did things the right way. And over the years, we went to their tournament. Really liked going over there, and we had a fallout on a contract with a date with another team one year in the summer, and I was scrambling because we lost a home date. Got a hold of your coach over there, and we put this together, and it's been great because it's a home and away series. We value that because that means we get to host every other year, and that's very important. But I really believe that the athletes over there kind of match up with ours, and it creates a friendly, competitive environment. And so just looking forward to matching up again, meeting up, and having a good night of wrestling.
All right, Chet Bachman with us on our Raleigh Chiefs pre-match show, the co-head coach of the MFL MarMac Bulldogs, getting ready for tonight's wrestling dual meet against Lancaster. Our Russell office's injury report, again, a lot of mat time already with the 8 dual matches that you guys have had to this point. What's the health of the team coming into tonight's matchup?
Pretty good. We got one guy, but we rotate them in and out, so they can kind of go back and forth. So it's kind of nice where that, if you do have an injury, you want it at a spot where you have some depth, that's for sure. And we got a little bit of that. So I think we'll be, fairly healthy, and looking forward to putting the best team out there on the mat tonight.
All right, then our keys to the match tonight with the Lancaster Flying Arrows. Again, this is the 4th year in a row, so a bit of an uncommon opponent, but you're still very familiar with each other. Are there areas that you think that your team has an edge, and are there specific things that you're looking for in tonight's matchup for your Bulldogs?
We've been looking pretty good on our feet, and we want to continue to grow there, obviously, because we put an emphasis on that. And then, we got to continue to do a good job of, scoring from underneath on the bottom. And that's always probably one of the tougher points that kids struggle with in the sport of wrestling. And so I would say, focus on those 2 things. And then probably like a 1 hour, it's early in the season, so our kids are making scratch weight. So a 1 hour weigh-in, we got to make sure we do a good job of, recovering after our weigh-in for 1 hour for a dual meet. So.
All right. Should be a fun one. We're looking forward to it. Thanks so much for your time, Coach. Have some fun and good luck tonight.
I appreciate your guys' coverage. I love wrestling on the radio. We don't get it enough over here in Iowa, so appreciate that.
All right. We appreciate the feedback, Coach. That's Chet Bachman, the co-head coach of the MFL MarMac Bulldogs. And we'll have more on the Raleigh Chiefs pre-match show after this on 97.7 Country, WGLR, and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel.
Pre-match 3.
Unwrap the savings during the JCPenney Mystery Sale. This Thursday to Sunday, hurry in store for a gold coupon giveaway while they last. You could win an extra 30, 40, or even 50% off. Or get extra lucky and hit the jackpot deal. You'll win $60 off your entire purchase when you spend $60 or more. JCPenney, make it count. Coupon valid on select styles 12/12 to 12/15. Exclusions apply. Must be 18 or older. See store associate for details. Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Pre-match 3.
Wrapping up our Raleigh Chiefs pre-match show from Lancaster High School, getting ready for the Lancaster Flying Arrows and the MFL MarMac Bulldogs in non-conference high school wrestling action on 97.7 Country, WGLR, and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel. Those watching on YouTube, we are trying to work through some technical issues. I know there's been a transition on the Lancaster side from YouTube to Huddle TV, and there might be some logistical stuff going on there where we can't access the camera feed right now, so we're working through that, and hopefully we can get that to you before the varsity matches get underway. But Tyler Dictanis and Chuck Rasmussen with you from the Wolf Construction broadcast booth, wrapping up our Raleigh Cheese pre-match show presented by Raleigh Cheese at the intersection of Highways 11 and 23 in the heart of Lafayette County. Don't forget the cheese. We'll bring you the Fuller Smoker Center starting lineups in just a bit. Our wrestling tonight brought to you by Rural Mutual Agents John Raggets and Deneen Dahl with Raggets and Dahl Insurance Group, tackling all of your farm, personal, business, and life insurance needs. Call them today at their office in Lancaster. And by Wolf Farms LNG in Lancaster, saluting our area wrestlers and all area student athletes this season. Wolf Farms encourages you to enjoy ham, pork chops, and bacon in support of our local pork producers. And by Will Scranton Graphics, a block off the square in Lancaster. Will's offers full-service copying and printing, available in wide formats for banners, posters, canvas prints, and much more. Will Scranton Graphics of Lancaster. So you can hear the Lancaster Marching Band performing on the stage as, again, this is the only home dual meet for the Lancaster Flying Arrows this season, Raz, and a very festive crowd here tonight.
Yeah, I know I've talked to a couple people, and it sounds like next year they're going to change things a little bit as far as to get a couple more dual meets. I know when the WIA changed things and said I think it's 14 days that you can have wrestling and things like that. And I see the definite advantages of multiple school meets and things like that too. But like tonight, you mentioned it earlier, tonight is parents' night, tonight is senior night. You saw Johnny Fryer out here. He had his youth kids there. Instead of being able to get on the mat, they welcomed all the wrestling team as they came in. It just really condenses things. No JV matches tonight, no women's matches tonight. And so they're looking to have another day or two of dual meets next year.
All right, we'll step aside for tonight's national anthem from the fourth graders from Winskill Elementary.
Well done by the fourth graders here. Compliments to Mrs. Sturmer and the crew. Oh, we got to turn on our lights.
Yes, we do.
I remember to bring that this year. Here at the high school gymnasium, most of you have probably been to a match or seen a match or whatever it is here. A few years ago, they implemented, they kind of stole the idea from Prairie du Chien. They have a spotlight to put the focus on the wrestlers. Beautiful new mat here tonight again too. Nice. So, go with the starting lineup?
Yeah, let's do the Fuller Smoker Center starting lineup. See Fuller's complete hygiene line and options for your brand new dairy setup. Our existing parlor remodel, Fuller's in Lancaster, Richland Center, and at FullerSmokerCenter.com.
All right, this is what I have given to me by the coaches as far as for the starting lineup tonight. Not saying that things won't change, but we're going to start this evening at 113 pounds. Will Cradwell, a sophomore from Lancaster with a 6-1 record. He'll match up against, that's one thing here too, a 6 o'clock start. That's right about my stomach's telling me it's eating time. He's going to be wrestling against Top Goal Thompson. Thompson, a freshman with a record of 8-1. At 120 pounds, Lane Hendricks, a sophomore with a record of 4-3, will receive a forfeit, as will Ronnie Raggett, a freshman, the 6-1 record at 126 pounds. At 132 pounds, John Muldoon, sophomore, he'll match up against senior Keith Anderson. At 138 pounds, a rematch from last year, it's Brian Best, a sophomore for the Flying Arrows, a record of 2-5. His opponent will be Gavin Kishman. He's a sophomore with a record of 6-3. Owen Johnson, new to wrestling this year, an 0-1 sophomore for the Flying Arrows, will be wrestling against Ryan Schrader, a sophomore for MFL. He has a record of 4-5. Axel Bailey, a freshman for the Flying Arrows, at 1-4. He'll be wrestling against sophomore Ty Keller. I don't have a record for Keller. 157 pounds, Braden Lenz, sophomore from Lancaster. The record is 6-1. He'll take on John Martin Saboria. He is a senior with no record this year. 165 pounds, Preston Clemens draws one of the tougher assignments for the Flying Arrows tonight. Clemens is junior with a record of 4-3. He wrestles against Quinn Magoo. He is a senior with a 9-0 record. Magoo, a state qualifier last year in Iowa. 175 pounds, Nolan Henke, undefeated junior at 7-0, wrestles against Austin Shaler. He is a senior with a record of 5-4. 190 pounds, Nolan Wolf, a senior, 5-1. He'll wrestle against Caleb Zucher. He is a junior with a record of 2-6. 215 pounds, Jackson Seipel, sophomore, record of 5-1, wrestles against Drayson Howe, a junior at 4-4. 285 pounds, TJ Nelson, senior with a record of 1-2. He'll wrestle against state qualifier, ranked number 9 in the state for Iowa, Will Howes. He's a junior, undefeated at 9-0. And to finish things off at 106 pounds, John Lindholm for the Flying Arrows, 4-3, a sophomore, will receive a forfeit.
All right, those are today's Fuller Smoker Center starting lineups. See Fuller's complete hygiene line and options for your brand new dairy setup. Our existing parlor remodel, Fuller's at Lancaster, Richland Center, and at FullerSmokerCenter.com. Our colors of the match brought to you by Cuba City Family Dental, Kieler Family Dental, and Darlington Family Dental. 3 convenient locations to serve your dental needs. The colors are the same for both schools, and we have wrestling action underway, Raz.
Well, yes, and this is not at 113 pounds. This must be at 190 pounds exhibition match. I think this is Braden Wallinger, but I am not sure. But they're wrestling already. You know, as coach from MFL said in the pre-match, you know, we match up very well talent-wise and all that. They also match up very well as far as singlet-wise.
Yes.
Both in the blue-colored singlets. The Arrows, you do the colors of the match. I'll let you describe.
Yeah, Lancaster in their blue singlets, arrows written across the back with a white and yellow splash pattern on the right side. MFL MarMac, also a blue singlet with MFL MarMac written across the back, going up and down the spine of the singlet. Those are the colors of the match tonight, brought to you by Cuba City Family Dental, Kieler Family Dental, and Darlington Family Dental. 3 convenient locations to serve your dental needs. And the long and short of it, Raz, is that the school colors for both teams are exactly the same, and that does make it a little tough for us to kind of see who's wrestling who has the advantage and things like that.
Well, we can tell you right now the Lancaster wrestler is up by a score of 6-1 on the strength of 2 takedowns. A change this year. In high school wrestling, there are a number of changes. I thought they might discuss some of those to the crowd tonight, but the Lancaster wrestler now has just picked up a pin. It is 3 points now for a takedown in high school wrestling now. And the near fall situation is also different. It's a 2, 3, or a 4-point near fall. This will be Aiden Spurgeon wrestling now for the Flying Arrows. The 2-point near fall is for a 2 count. You get the wrestler in criteria there. Then there's a 3 if they make it to a 3 count, and a 4 if they make it to a 4 count. So that's a little bit different. It's going to take me a little bit of time to get used to it. I was talking to a couple of officials a couple of weeks ago too, and they were is kind of the same thing. It's going to take them a little bit of time, you know, for the crowd here. If they've not been to the tournament last weekend or they don't have somebody wrestling, they may have a question marks too. So, but I think probably some good changes. So
yeah, it makes for an interesting beginning of the season too. Again, you know, both programs already have a number of dual meets under their belt already, wrestling in a couple different tournaments. So you got that initial, initial matches under your belt. You're starting to get into the swing of things. Is this kind of the point now where you kind of start to see what you have and what, you know, weight classes and things like that you kind of have your strengths and how you match up with some of the potential competitors, you know, not just in the conference, but in your regional and potentially sectional brackets as well?
Yeah, for sure. You start looking at those things. I know they've already come out with rankings and things like that too. Really doesn't mean too much at this point in the season other than some conversation pieces for like us. But Spurgeon in his match here, an exhibition match, no score, 1:14 left in the first period. But should be some fun matches this year. Got some next week, I believe. You and I are doing one next Tuesday night.
Yep, next week we have Mineral Point at Fenimore, 97.7 Country, or on ESPN Radio, AM 5090 WPVL, and then on WGLR that same night, Darlington Blackhawk hosting Lancaster and Ithaca in a triangular. That's going to be a very intriguing one as well, and of course we'll bring as much of that as we can on, not just on Queen Bee Radio, but our Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel as well. Our Shoebox Scoreboard, presented by the Shoebox in Black Earth, the largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. Coming up later on Queen Bee Radio, we have girls basketball action over on Super Hits 106. Potosi Cassville is at River Ridge. RJ Osterhaus and Tom Nices with the call of that one. And then on Extreme 107.1 in the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel, SWC girls basketball action. Platteville is at Dodgeville.
All right, the Spurgeon boy ended up, his opponent took a shot, a nice job in catching his opponent and turning him to the back and coming up with a fall in the first period for Aiden Spurgeon. We have another wrestler out here now, and I think this might be also Wallinger again. Several new faces in our first match. I have now been out of the middle school coaching now for 2 years, so I don't know all of them as well as I used to. But, pummeling in, working right into the center mat, the LHS. Signa on the mat, and there's a takedown. And we'll do this Wallinger. Working with the half Nelson series. Had his body on the right side of his opponent first, now slipped over to his body on the left side. Going with a cross face, trying to take the nose to the knee, not being able to. Working on to a half from the right-hand side. Now let's go with that. Nice thing, Lancaster again with 29 in their roster this year, and that includes, I believe, 9 ladies. Got a warning stalling on MFL wrestler. 6 o'clock start is not usual, but help me. When we were over at MFL, we started at 6 last year too.
Yeah, I believe we did last year when we went to Iowa for last year's dual meet, and we did have a number of exhibition matches beforehand as well. We had some girls matches in there as well, and you know, especially in this early part of the season, Raz, mat time is so important because it helps you. You know, the more matches that you have, especially early on in the season, that just helps you so much more down the line.
Yes, it does. But I think the 6 o'clock start time for tonight was to help accommodate the travel time for MFL, as they did for us last year. So, but usual start time for dual meets, 7 o'clock. The Lancaster wrestling team sitting off to our right. MFL on the left, right in front of the stage.
I believe we were anticipating a 6 o'clock start for the varsity action, but this is now the third exhibition match before the varsity action gets started, which, again, you still want to get your wrestlers, as much experience as you can, some time on the mat going against some competitors, but I'll tell you this, Raz, just looking at the crowd tonight, it is nearly jam-packed looking on the other side of the gym. And
nice.
It's a great crowd, a very great environment. We had the band performing during pre-match. We had the fourth graders doing the Star Spangled Banner tonight. And this new wrestling mat, I really like the digital camo pattern outside the circle. Really awesome looking environment here tonight.
Yeah. Lowinger up by a score of 7-1. He had a second takedown. Now he's got his opponent on his back, and Lowinger is going to come up with a fall. Remember last year in the dual meet, Brady wrestled varsity, and he picked up a win. I think it was in overtime last year.
Yes, it was.
14,
You're right.
12 or something like that. That was very exciting. Now I think we'll see.
Looks like we're set for varsity action here, as it looks like the 113-pound wrestlers will be checking in here at the table. Our wrestling tonight brought to you by Rural Mutual Agents John Ragatz and Janine Dahl with Ragatz & Dahl Insurance Group, tackling all of your farm business, personal business, and life insurance needs. Call them today at their office in Lancaster. By Wolf Farms LNG in Lancaster, saluting our area wrestlers and all area student athletes this season. Wolf Farms encourages you to enjoy ham, pork chops, and bacon in support of our local pork producers.
Not sure what we're waiting on, but both wrestlers are off to the side with their respective coaches. Officials, Joe Poots is the official for tonight's match. Excellent official, done the state tournament a number of times, has done the Clash a number of times. Does an excellent job. Married former Lancaster student. Joe looks up to us like, I don't know. Pull him to the car.
Oh, he can hear us. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, waiting for the scorekeeper timer. Okay.
That's important.
Oh, yeah. He had to make a quick trip to the R&R. I'm on back. Yeah, we were talking about Joe. He married Jamie Lemire. And does an excellent job. All right, we're ready to go. At 113 pounds, it's going to be Will Cradwell for the Flying Arrows. He was a sophomore with a record of 6-1. He's taking on Taco Thompson. He is a freshman with a record of 8-1. Cradwell takes his shot. He got a little bit extended. Now he's going to come on through, head out the back door, and he's going to get the first takedown. 3-point takedown for Cradwell. Cradwell working to hook up a cradle. He's got the cradle hooked up, a little bit out of position, and he's going to lose the grasp. A sit-out attempt by Thompson. Cradwell counters very well. He's got the head under a lock and has met a 2-point near fall. Still with the, getting a little bit of high. He's going to readjust. And 2 points will now be awarded to Cradwell for a near fall. 5-0 at the 1-minute mark of the first period. Thompson up to his feet. He looks to throw. He gets behind Cradwell, and that's going to be a neck wrench. It's going to be a point, I believe, for Cradwell. No, just going to be called. Okay, that was a neck wrench, and Cradwell will be penalized for that. Start in the referee's position again with 48 seconds remaining in this first period. Cradwell off to the left-hand side, trying to put in a half Nelson from the knees. Right hand around the waist of Thompson. Cradwell getting a little bit high again. And there's that Granby roll. Cradwell set that up for Thompson to take, and Thompson took it to get the 2 points for a reversal. And trying to come up with back points is Thompson. 10 seconds remaining in this first period. And 2-1, and the period will come to an end. It'll be a 5-3 score. Cradwell with the advantage.
Good start so far. Wrestling Tonight brought to you by Will Scranton Graphics, a block off the square in Lancaster. Wills offers full-service copying and printing, available in wide formats for banners, posters, canvas prints, and much more. Will Scranton Graphics of Lancaster.
Cradwell will be in the down position to start the second period, leading on the scoreboard by a score of 5-3. We have a caution on Thompson. Get set again. Cradwell wrestled at 106 last year, now again also at 106 pounds. Lots stronger than he was last year. And last year he had a good record. I will tell you here, Cradwell ended up last year with a record of 22-15. The cradle being attempted by Thompson. He lets go of that. Now works back to the side. Cradle trying to hit out. Let's go of that. Now a good cross face being applied by Thompson with his right hand. We're nearing the 1 minute mark of the second period. Cradle now looking to maybe hit his fireman, but as he sits out, gets a little bit out of position again. And be careful. Okay, Cradle recovers. I like his aggressiveness, but tear that hand off of there. Thompson working with that cross face again. Potentially dangerous. And we'll start again with 27.5 seconds remaining in the second period. Cradwell with a 5-3 advantage. Cradwell up, and he's going to get the escape. Makes the score at 6-3. 10 seconds remaining, second period. Cradwell goes underneath, tries to hit his fireman's Carey. And got to be careful here. And he's going to get taken down. Got himself a little bit outstretched. See if the points, yes, it's now tied up. 6-6.
Clare Bank with 3 convenient locations in Southwest Wisconsin, part of Sport Community Events. Clare Bank, where they say we can do that. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender. Also by Sheetles Heating and Cooling, your local Daikin dealer. Call Bradley Schneider for heating, ventilating, and air conditioning service from Sheetles Heating and Cooling in Bloomington.
All right, 2 wrestlers here. Cradwell with a record of 6-1. Taco Thompson with a record of 8-1. Thompson in the down position. Cradwell working off the top, reaches with the right hand for a cross face, trying to set up the cradle. Cradwell probably 4 inches shorter than Thompson. Makes it tough to do that. Thompson has reached back with his right arm, grabbed the leg of Cradwell, but now has let go. Another cross face put in by Cradwell. Reaches back to the thigh, trying to break things down. Not able to do so. And now puts a head in the side. Not able to get around to tighten things up. Reaches back to an ankle, does Cradwell. Now off to the side again, trying to go with the near side in the ribs cradle, and that slips off of there. Cradwell readjusts. And gets a little bit out of position, and a switch being hit by Thompson, and Thompson's going to get the reversal. Making the score 8-6 with a half minute remaining in the third period. Cradwell trails. Cradwell reaches for the arm. Now it's out front, trying to hit his fireman's again. Got to be careful. Again, now long people, it's tough to do. 14 seconds. Cradwell needs to hit this reversal. He'll get the escape. He's got 8 seconds to go. Cradwell chasing. And there's a throw by Thompson, and Thompson will win this by a score of 8-7.
Bookmark that for match of the meet tonight. My goodness,
Yes,
what
it
a
was.
start.
A lot of action.
So 3-0 through one match here from Lancaster High School. Our match tonight brought to you by Anderson Weber Toyota in Dubuque, powering our audio stream. Anderson Weber Toyota in Dubuque, when you are ready. And by Community First Bank, for you in the communities where you live, work, and play. Experience for yourself the difference at Community First Bank, cfbank.com, member FDIC. And by Grant Regional Health Center's ortho team, Dr. Brad Binsfeld and Nate Stocco, PAC, provide exceptional care for sports-related injuries. Grant Regional Health Center, better health starts here.
We move to the 120-pound weight class. And Lane Henrichs will collect the forfeit for the Flying Arrows. Team score 6-3. Expect a forfeit here at 126 pounds also. No. MFL does not have anybody. And that'll bring up Ronnie Raggets for the Flying Arrows. Raggets will collect the forfeit, the freshman. And Raggets goes to 7-1 on the year. Good looking freshman. 132 pounds. This will be John Muldoon for the Flying Arrows. He is a sophomore. And he's got a handful here with Keith Anderson. Anderson, a senior. I remember him from last year, but I did not get a record for him. Flying Arrows up 12-3 after 3 weight classes. There's a throw attempt by Anderson, and Muldoon does a good job of countering it. Doesn't give up any points, but didn't get any neither, as he didn't gain control as he worked around the back of Anderson. 132 pounds. There the takedown by Anderson. Anderson breaks the hips of Muldoon. Muldoon, an extremely hard worker in the wrestling room. Him and John Lindholm went out for cross country this year, and there is a sport that takes a lot of work, takes a tough physical. There's a cradle put in by Anderson. He reaches out and he's going to put Muldoon to his back with a minute on the clock in this first period. Muldoon trying to keep his shoulder up. Able to do so far. We can see it from our vantage point. Now things are getting a little bit tighter there. Anderson trying to adjust. Muldoon doing a nice job, and he's going to work back over to his base. Good job, John Muldoon. Going to give up the 4 near fall. And there is the fall The time of 1 minute and 36 seconds for Keith Anderson.
Winning by a pin, MFL MarMac, Keith Anderson.
Wrestling tonight brought to you by Herbst's Ace Hardware and Home Center in Bloomington and Herbst's Ace Hardware at the bottom of Main and Platteville. See Herbst's for the perfect paint for your next project. Herbst's Ace Hardware in Bloomington and Platteville. Russell Office here to assist as your local legal representation. Call for a consultation to discuss personal injury, estate planning, family law, criminal defense, probate administration, and more. Proudly serving Southern Wisconsin, Russell Law Offices.
Wrestling at 138, MFL MarMac, Gavin Kishman, Lancaster.
138 pounds for the Flying Arrows. It's Brian Best, a sophomore. His opponent is Gavin Kishman. He is also a sophomore. Kishman with a record of 6-3. Quickly in as a Kishman on a double leg takedown. Kishman and Best wrestled last year, and it was Kishman coming out with a fall in 48 seconds. Kishman's going to let Best go. So the score at 3-1. Kishman in now again on another shot, and he's got Best into a half Nelson series. And Best be able to get over to his base again and start from there. Kishman working to a ball and chain type of series. Tries to now lift the leg and work with a half Nelson on his right hand side. And Best over fighting off the back again, and the pin time is 1 minute for Gavin Kishman.
So that brings our team score to MFL MarMac 15, Lancaster 12. Wrestling tonight brought to you by Brian's Auto Body and Paint Specialist. The pros at Brian's gets the job done right. For unexpected dings or major repair projects, head to Brian's Auto Body and Paint in Lancaster. And Mount City Bank's total line of credit allows you to use the equity in your home to do the things you want. Step into Mount City Bank to apply. Offer subject to approval. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender. Learn more at mountcitybank.com.
Wrestling at 144, MFL MarMac, Riley Schrader, Lancaster, Owen Johnson.
All right, we move to the 144-pound weight class. Owen Johnson will make his debut as far as into the Lancaster Gymnasium. First year wrestling, Johnson, a sophomore with a record of 0-1 on the season. Wrestling against Rylan Schrader. He's also a sophomore with a record of 4-5. Schrader in on a shot. Whizzer being applied by Johnson. He's got to let go of that. Wisely does, and gives up the 3 takedown. And they'll go out of bounds. They'll come back to the center. Johnson will be in the down position. Johnson. Right arm around the waist. Oh, no. A good sit-down attempt for the most part, the attempt part, but Owen reaches right over the back, and Schrader, he knows what to do there, and he puts Johnson to his back, and he'll collect the pin in 49 seconds. That's one of those moves that Owen will maybe look back and see the tape, and you tell it. You don't reach over the back. Don't reach over the back. Don't reach over the back. But it's the easy thing to do. But the situation is that you'll end up like that. So 21-12, MFL with the lead. We move to the 150-pound weight class.
Wrestling tonight brought to you by Johnny's Tire and Auto. Call the only hooker in town for 24-hour touring service at 568-3014. That's 568-3014. Your home for excellent car care is at Johnny's Tire and Auto in Dickeyville. Also by Gary's Pest Control at Dickeyville. Gary's Pest Control salutes our local athletes. Gary's Pest Control with over 40 years of professional, friendly service.
All right, Axel Bailey, freshman for the Flying Arrows, record of 1-4. He's going to be wrestling against Ty Keller. from MFL. He is a sophomore, and I did not get a record on him neither. Working right into the center of the mat. Each wrestler tapping the head of their opponent. Bailey ties up, pushes away, and then a nice double leg shot there by Keller. And he's going to get the 3 takedown. There's a nice setup by Keller as he knew that Bailey was going to tap him, and as he did, he just dropped down, drove right on through and got a takedown. Bailey gets the escape, and they're working out of bounds, and they do go out of bounds with no points being scored. They'll go back to the center in the neutral position. Bailey trailing by a score of 3-1. Bailey another couple taps to the forehead, top of the head of Keller. Keller crosses his feet. Oftentimes other wrestlers will see that and anticipate and take the shot. I don't know that Axel's got as much experience, excuse me, enough experience to catch that. We're back at it, 45 seconds first period. Bailey trailing by a score of 3-1. There's a takedown by Keller, and he's got Bailey giving up back points. And it will be a fall with pin time of 1 minute and 41 seconds for Ty Keller.
27-12, the new team score after our 150-pound matchup. Wrestling tonight brought to you by Majestic View Dairy of Lancaster. From the farm to your fridge, they produce milk for delicious and nutritious beverages and foods. Learn more at Majestic View Classroom on Facebook, by WCC Brands Custom Apparel in Kieler, and at WCC-brands.com, and by Boss Electric. Call Brad, Adrian, and Josh Busher at Boss Electric, Lancaster, and Fenimore.
Going to move to the 157-pound weight class. Braden Lenz for the Flying Arrows has already checked in. See if there's a change here in the lineup for MFL. I believe this is John Martin's Taboria. Lenz, nice season so far, 6-1. He's a sophomore. In on a single leg, switches to a double, and there's a 3 takedown for Lenz. Saboria, a senior with no record. Working towards the edge of the wrestling area, and they'll step out and come back in with 1 minute and 36 on the clock. Little different as far as the change on wrestling. Any part of any of the body in the wrestling area, you still keep wrestling. We saw that earlier from a Lancaster wrestler, a switch attempt, but as his opponent Saboria reaches over the back, Lenz just a hair behind catching him. But now working up to the head and shoulders of Saboria, out on front on a chest crusher now. Let's go with that. He's going to get a 2-point near fall though, does Lenz. Making the score 5-0 at the 1 minute mark of the first period. Braden Lenz out in front. An armbar series, and now to the half. And very close to coming up with the pin. Braden Lenz does get the pin in 1 minute and 10 seconds. Nice job there of chain wrestling by Braden Lenz.
Winning by a pin, Lancaster, Braden Lenz.
27-18, our new team score. Our wrestling action tonight brought to you by People's State Bank. For personal, home, business, and ag loans, visit one of their area convenient locations or visit People's Financial Sloan.com. By Sloan Implement, your official John Deere dealer in Bloomington, Cuba City, Montfort, and at Sloans.com. Carey Seamless Gutters and Overhead Doors of Belmont, Prairie du Chien, and at Carey'sGuttersandDoors.com. And by Bytech Resource Management, a greener way. Bytech Resource Management of Monroe.
Wrestling at 165, MFL MarMac, Quinn McGill, Lancaster, Preston Clemens.
All right, to the 165-pound weight class. Be Preston Clemens, a junior for the Flying Arrows with a record of 4-3, and he's got himself a handful here with Quinn McGill. He's a senior, 9-0. McGill, a state qualifier last year, ranked number 12. McGill already with a takedown, and he'll just pull or push Clemens away. It's 3-1. According to my notes here, Magoo had a record last year of 32-12. Another takedown for Magoo. So, as I just kind of look forward to the matches we got coming up, this is one if we can keep Clemens from getting pinned, this could be big as far as for a team score. Near fall criteria met again by Magoo. 42 seconds remaining first period. Magoo trying to tighten things up, got the shin right in the chest of Clemens. It's all legal pain. Still working at 15 seconds remaining in this first period. And Clemens, good job of avoiding that pin, getting out of bounds then, and it's before near fall, making it 10-1. Again, near fall criteria has changed this year. There's a 2, 3, and 4 awarded, or could be awarded. 2 for 2 seconds in criteria, 3 for 3 seconds in criteria, 4 for the 4 seconds in criteria. Ten-1 is the match score.
Heading into the second period, Krantz Auto Parts, your local hardware Hank and Napa dealer. See Rob Krantz of the crew at Krantz Auto Parts for full service repair on cars and light trucks too. Krantz Auto Parts of Fenimore.
Clemens will choose the top position to start this second period, trailing 10-1. Trying to come up to his feet is Magoo. Looking to hit the switch, and Magoo's going to be able to get the 2 reversal. Making it 12-1 at the minute and 40 mark of the second period. Now working an arm bar on the right-hand side of Clemens is Magoo. Now blocking the left shoulder and has met criteria. Again, this looks to be pretty tight. And the 4. Minute 18. Second period. Clemens can hold up out of this. He's got a long time to go. And there's the fall. Pin time of 2:54 for Quinn Magoo.
Winning by a pin, MFL MarMac, Quinn McGill.
33-18, the new team score. Our wrestling action tonight brought to you by TriStar Pallets of Highland and TriStar Mulch of Cobb and Platteville. Beautify your home with decorative colored mulch. Give Gingery and the gang a call at TriStar Pallets of Highland and TriStar Mulch of Cobb and Platteville. By First Supply at Platteville, your total commercial plumbing and heating wholesale outlet. When quality parts are needed, the experts rely on First Supply in Platteville. Guys Truck and Tractor for heavy duty towing and recovery, reliable 24-hour roadside service, and long distance transports. Call on Guys Truck and Tractor in Kieler and at guystruck.com.
Wrestling at 175, MFL MarMac, Austin Schaller, Lancaster.
All right, we're going to the 175-pound weight class. Nolan Hankey for the Flying Arrows, undefeated this year at 7-0. He is a junior. This is where the Flying Arrows is going to need about 3 pins in a row to get back into this thing. Hankey with a quick takedown. Nice job there. And they start working towards the edge of the mat over by the MFL side. Hankey with a nice tight waist and an arm chop. Hankey, a junior. His opponent is Austin Schaller. He is a senior with a record of 5-4. Hankey work with a cross face with the right hand, trying to take the nose to the knees, lock things up. Can't tell, but he's got to get real close. And a good job by Schaller to break the grip. And they'll start again with now under a minute, first period. Hankey trying to work an arm bar on the right hand side, does have the bar out. And trying to put it, the wrist into the back pocket of Schaller, and it's going to be potentially dangerous. Took the arm a little past the 90-degree angle. So Schaller will get set again. 3-0 is our match score at 35.8 showing on the clock in the first period. Flying Arrows trail 33-18. I'd like to give a quick shout out and thanks to Aaliyah Jackering. Aaliyah provided me with the stats and everything as far as for the match tonight, so very much appreciate that. Very thorough job, so thank you there. Move to the second period. 3-0. Hankey with the advantage.
Carver's Hardwood Flooring. For hardwood flooring, stair installation, refinishing needs, call Ryan Carver, the only National Wood Flooring Association certified installer, sander, and finisher in the tri-state area. Carver's Hardwood Flooring in Benton.
Nice double leg shot, just has to finish things as Hankey. Now goes up towards the upper body, lets go of that double. Has an underhook, overhooked by Schaller. There's a throw attempt by Hankey. He's going to get the takedown, and he's got Schaller in near fall criteria. And there's the pin. Time of 2 minutes and 33 seconds for Nolan Hankey.
Winning by a pin, Lancaster, Nolan Hankey.
33-24 after the 175-pound matchup. Our wrestling action tonight brought to you by Rural Mutual Agents John Raggets and Deneen Dahl with Raggets and Dahl Insurance Group, tackling all of your farm, personal, business, and life insurance needs. Call them today at their office in Lancaster. By Wolf Farms LNG in Lancaster salutes our area wrestlers and all of our area student athletes this season. Wolf Farms encourages you to enjoy ham, pork chops, and bacon in support of local pork producers.
Wrestling at 190, MFL MarMac, Caleb Zurcher, Lancaster, Nolan Wolf.
To the 190-pound weight class, it's going to be Nolan Wolf, a senior for the Flying Arrows with a record of 5-1. His matchup is Caleb Zurcher, a junior, with a record of 2-6. A quick takedown by Wolf. About 6 seconds into the match, Wolf already has his opponent broken down. Reaches across, nice cross face here. Looking for a cradle, and then out front to go into a chest crusher. Comes back to the cradle again. Has it locked up. Needs to get it right. Hip to hip, cheek to cheek. And he's got it locked up, and he's got Zurcher on his back. 30 seconds into this first period. Pretty tight here for Wolf, and he's going to come up with a fall. Pin time of 44 seconds for Nolan Wolf.
Winning by a pin, Lancaster, Nolan Wolf.
Lancaster closes the gap to within 3, 33-30. MFL MarMac leading Lancaster. A wrestling action tonight brought to you by Will Scranton Graphics, a block off the square in Lancaster. Wolf's offers full-service copying and printing, available in wide formats for banners, posters, canvas prints, and much more. Will Scranton Graphics of Lancaster. And by Claire Bank with their 8 convenient locations in Southwest Wisconsin. Proud to support our community events. Claire Bank, where they say we can do that. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender. Shingles Heating and Cooling, your local Daikin dealer. Call Bradley Schneider for heating, ventilating, and air conditioning service from Shingles Heating and Cooling in Bloomington.
All right, we move to the 215-pound weight class, and this is going to be, in my mind, the match that the Flying Arrows have to have. And they're going to need to have something more than just a regular decision out as Jackson Seipel low single switches to a double. Now they go back up to their feet. Jackson Seipel, a sophomore, had a record of 5-1 on the season, wrestling against Deson Howe. He's a junior with a record of 4-4. There's a nice sweep single here by Seipel. He's going to keep the single as they move up to their feet. He's going to trip it on the way down, looking for a half Nelson. Seipel has a half Nelson. He's got Howe on his back, looking up of the fall. A minute and a half showing on the clock in the first period. Seipel trying to tighten things up. Readjusts. Now just goes to a half. Needs to shuttle his chest back a little bit more. Does shuttle it back, and it's going to be go. There's a pin. Jackson Seipel comes up with a pin in 43 seconds for the Flying Arrows.
Lancaster now in front, 36-33. Anderson Weber Toyota in Dubuque, powering our audio stream. Anderson Weber Toyota, when you are ready. By Community First Bank, for you in the communities where you live, work, and play. Experience for yourself the difference at Community First Bank, cfbank.com. Member FDIC. Grant Regional Health Center's ortho team, Dr. Brad Binsfeld and Nate Stocco, PAC, provide exceptional care for sports-related injuries. Grant Regional Health Center, better health starts here.
Well, most of you out there already have it figured out with that pin by Seipel. And the forfeit at 106 pounds, the Flying Arrows will win this match. But we have the 285-pound weight class going now. And it's going to be T.J. Nelson, a senior for the Flying Arrows. Nelson with a record this year of 1-2. His opponent is Will Howes. He's a junior, undefeated, 9-0. State qualifier last year, ranked number 9 in the state of Iowa. Good to see TJ back out again. They hook up both over and unders. It's going to be a good job. There was a throw attempt by TJ, and he realized that he didn't have it, and so he let go of things and able to work again back on their feet. Howes trying to work with a snap down. Out in front has got the head of TJ underneath him, has now got the takedown. TJ up to his feet. Ooh, TJ, get your head up. There you go. Thank you for listening. Get her back up. Head back up. I think he can hear you. Keep the head up. There you go. There you go. 1 minute on the clock in the first period.
Speaking like a true coach.
Yeah. Oh, nice job by Howes, I believe it is, to reach across to the far leg and bring Nelson belly to the mat. Nelson back up to his base. .35 seconds first period. 3-0. Will Howes with the advantage over TJ Nelson. Nelson had, you watched Nelson play football this year. He had a really nice season. At least I listening to you and what you guys' descriptions on the radio. There was a good sit out here, but Nelson turned the wrong way and he's going to be on his back. Struggling to get back to his base, and it's going to be a pin. The time of 1 minute and 56 seconds for Will Howes.
So it makes the team score 39-36. I believe we have one match to go, correct?
We do, but I have this down at forfeit for John Lindholm. We'll see. I see there's a pretty small fellow over there. I didn't get a look at the weigh-in sheet, so I'm just going with what the coaches told me.
Well, while we sort that out, our wrestling tonight brought to you by Hermson's Ace Hardware and Home Center in Bloomington and Hermson's Ace Hardware at the bottom of Main and Platteville. See Hermson's for the perfect paint for your next project. Hermson's Ace Hardware in Bloomington and Platteville. My Russell office is here to assist as your local legal representation. Call for a consultation to discuss personal injury, estate planning, family law, criminal defense, probate administration, and more. Proudly serving Southern Wisconsin Russell Law offices.
All right, the Flying Arrows will collect a forfeit there. John Lindholm moves to 5-3 on the season. The Flying Arrows win this dual meet by a score of 42-39. Nice matchup. And, we're figuring that these two teams will meet again next year over across the river.
Yeah, what a fun way to begin our high school wrestling coverage for the 2024-2025 season. Our Wrestling Tonight brought to you by Rural Mutual agents John Raggets and Deneen Dahl with Raggets and Dahl Insurance Group, tackling all of your farm, personal, business, and life insurance needs. Call them today at their office in Lancaster. I'm a Wolf Farms LNG in Lancaster, saluting our area wrestlers and all area student athletes this season. Wolf Farms encourages you to enjoy ham, pork chops, and bacon in support of our local pork producers. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back with our post-match show. We'll talk with Tyson Wolf as well as a couple wrestlers from the Lancaster Flying Arrows who are victorious tonight, 42-39 over MFL MarMac. Our post-match show coming up next on 97.7 Country, WGLR, and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel.
You know the most valuable things are also the hardest to get. Your business didn't grow overnight and came from years of hard work, confidence in what you could do, and making smart decisions. That's why an insurance policy from West Bend makes sense. It protects your valuable and hard-earned business so you can focus on doing what you do best. And it's all backed by the knowledge and experience of the Peterson Agency. To find out more, contact the Peterson Agency in Argyle, 608-543-3354.
Whenever you're in the mood for non-stop Christmas music, check out our sister station at 106.1 FM. Chestnuts roasting. The Christmas songs you know and love are playing now on Dubuque's Super Hits 106.
Post-match 1.
Grant Regional Health Center and People's State Bank coverage of high school wrestling presented by Cuba City, Darlington, and Kieler Family Dental, and Carey Seamless Gutters and Overhead Doors on 97.7 Country, WGLR, and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel. The Lancaster Flying Arrows victorious in their only home boys wrestling dual meet of the season, 42-39 over the MFL MarMac Bulldogs. Our Wrestling Tonight brought to you by Brian's Auto Body and Paint Specialist. The pros at Brian's gets the job done right. For unexpected dings or major repair projects, head to Brian's Auto Body and Paint in Lancaster. And by Mountain City Bank's total line of credit allows you to use the equity in your home to do the things you want. Stop into Mountain City Bank to apply. Offer subject to approval. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender. Learn more at mountaincitybank.com. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back with our post-match show. Pick out a tri-core turning point, the tough man of the match, and the match of the meet. Also a chat with Tyson Wolf, head coach of the Lancaster Flying Arrows, and a wrestler or two as well. Our post-match show continues after this on 97.7 Country, WGLR, and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel.
For residential, commercial, or ag building projects, call on Wolf Construction LLC of Lancaster. Todd Wolf and his crew pride themselves in providing full service for their customers at the highest of quality. Wolf Construction LLC of Lancaster, proud to back our local athletes.
Attention business owners. Are you tired of monthly fees eating into your profits? Look no further than People State Bank. People State Bank's business checking account has no monthly service charge. Yes, you heard that right. 0 monthly service charges. But that's not all. Enjoy free ATM and debit cards, free online and mobile banking, and free bill pay services. With People State Bank, managing your business finances has never been easier or more affordable. Stop wasting your hard-earned money on unnecessary fees. Switch to People State Bank today and take care of your business finances. People State Bank, member FDIC.
Carey Seamless Gutters and Overhead Doors of Belmont and Prairie du Chien is who to call for top quality CHI overhead doors. Enhance the curb appeal and security of your home by choosing the fine line of CHI overhead doors from Carey. And when it comes to seamless gutters that keep your home protected from water damage, Carey's has you covered too. Visit Carey'sGuttersandDoors.com today to learn more. They'll service all the rest, and they deal in the best. Get your new CHI overhead doors at Carey Seamless Gutters and Overhead Doors, Belmont and Prairie du Chien.
This is Mitch from Kieler Family Dental. The Kieler Family Dental family wish you and yours all the joys of the season. We are grateful for your business in the past year and look forward to serving you in the new year. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Cuba City Family Dental, Kieler Family Dental, and Darlington Family Dental. Keep smiling, Tri-States.
Whenever you're in the mood for non-stop Christmas music, check out our sister station at 106.1 FM. The Christmas songs you know and love are playing now on Dubuque Super Hits 106.
Post-match 2.
97.7 Country, WGLR FM Lancaster, Grant Regional Health Center, and People's State Bank coverage of high school wrestling presented by Cuba City, Darlington, and Kieler Family Dental, and Carey Seamless Gutters and Overhead Doors. Tyler DeCanis and Chuck Rasmussen with you from the Wolf Construction broadcast booth. Our post-match show with the Lancaster Flying Arrows coming away with the win over the MFL MarMac Bulldogs, 42-39. A very fun back and forth dual meet between these two programs. Raz, let's run down the results of tonight's matchup.
All right, we started this evening at 113 pounds, and it was Will Cradwell, sophomore with a record of 6-1, meeting against Taco Thompson, a freshman, 8-1. Two very good wrestlers going at it, and it was an 8-7 victory for Taco Thompson. And MFL went out to a 3-0 lead. Lane Hendricks at 120 pounds. Ronnie Raggets at 126 pounds. We received forfeits for the Flying Arrows. And then we moved to the 132-pound weight class. And it was Keith Anderson, a senior for MFL. He wrestles against John Muldoon, and Anderson come up with a fall in the time of 136. Gavin Kishman goes to 7-3 for MFL. He's a sophomore. He wrestles against Brian Best. Kishman comes up with a fall in 1 minute. Ryan Schrader for MFL follows Kishman. It was a pin for Schrader in 49 seconds. Schrader goes to 5-5 on the season. He was wrestling against Owen Johnson, a newbie to the wrestling for Lancaster. Good to see him in the lineup. At 150 pounds, Axel Bailey for Lancaster, a freshman, wrestles against Ty Keller, a sophomore for MFL. Keller comes up with a fall in 141. That's when Braden Lenz breaks the streak. The Flying Arrow Lenz goes to 7-1 on the season. He comes up with a fall in 1:10 over Jarn Martin Saboria. Preston Clemens wrestles state qualifier, ranked number 12 in the state. Quinn Magoo, a senior for MFL. Magoo now is 10-0. Magoo comes up with a fall in the second period in the time of 2:54. Nolan Hankey starts things off for a roll for the Flying Arrows. Hankey goes to 8-0 on the season. He comes up with a fall in 2:33 over Austin Schaller. Nolan Wolf, one of the seniors for the Flying Arrows, one of the only 2 seniors for the Flying Arrows. A fall in 44 seconds for Wolf. He goes to 6-1 on the season. That was over Caleb Searcher for MFL. Jackson Seipel, a big pin there for the Flying Arrows. Seipel up at 215 pounds again this year, though he could be at the 190-pound weight class tomorrow if he needed to be. Comes up with a takedown and a pin in 43 seconds, taking his season record to 6-1. That was over Drayson Howell, a junior for MFL. TJ Nelson for the Flying Arrows, a senior at 1-2. He wrestles against Will Howes, a junior, a state qualifier last year, ranked number 9 in the state in Iowa. Howes goes to 10-0 with a fall at 156. And then John Lindholm for the Flying Arrows collects a forfeit. That puts the Flying Arrows ahead at the end of the meet. Final score, 42-39 Flying Arrows.
All right, Flying Arrows again coming away with the win over MFL MarMac. Let's hand out some post-match awards. Let's start off with the match of the meet brought to you by Will Scranton Graphics, Block Out the Square in Lancaster. Wills offers full-service copying and printing, available in wide formats for banners, posters, canvas prints, and much more. Will Scranton Graphics of Lancaster. I thought the one that I would go with was the first match, just because it was so exciting and a thrilling match. It didn't go Lancaster's way, but what a fun one to begin at 113 pounds, 8-7 the final.
Right, I agree with you completely. It was that was the only match that went past or went into the third period, and again it was kind of back and forth. You know, Cradwell led 5-3 after the first period. It was tied 6-6 after the second, and then Thompson comes up with the win 8-7. But the exciting match there.
All right, we got Tyson Wolf and some wrestlers here with us this evening. Coach, come chat with us first. Thanks for joining us on our post-match show here. And Coach, a fun back-and-forth dual meet with MFL MarMac here this evening. Talk about the things that you liked from your Arrows this evening and things that went right for the team this night.
Yeah, we came out and, we had a match right off the mat with Will Cradwell, man. So close, but yet just do the little things right, and I think we can sneak that match out. But, that's going to come, right? Like, we're real young down there, and it's going to be what it's going to be. They kind of got on a run, but our kids are resilient, and, they know we get to that 57, 65, 75, and, we're in any match. So they know that, and they just resilient. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and, wrestling in a jam-packed environment tonight with all the parents' night, senior night. We got some seniors here to, talk about the success that you had tonight. Talk about what it was like, coaching these wrestlers in this environment tonight, and how important it was for the wrestlers to kind of feed off the crowd here tonight.
Yeah, I'll tell you from experience, there's probably nothing better wrestling than in a single dual meet, in a gym, under spotlight with all kinds of people here. It's probably one of the greatest feelings, ever. Like, been in those situations, when we wrestled Prairie quite often, and with the kids not getting very many of these opportunities, it's just great for them to experience that, the whole gym stands up and claps and cheers, win or lose, it's just great atmosphere, and you're never going to get anything like it.
Yeah, been looking ahead, you got some matchups coming up here. What do you take away from tonight? What are some of the things that you're going to be working on with the team moving forward?
Definitely got a lot of work to do on bottom, right? We got to keep moving down there. But just cleaning up some little things with a lot of kids, individually, clean up a lot of little things and go from there each time, and just looking to get a little bit better every time we step on the mat. So that's all we can ask for the kids.
All right, awesome. And brag about, your seniors. Once again, I asked you during pre-match, what were the things that, they've done to contribute. Talk about, their performances tonight and how they helped the Arrows this evening.
Yeah, and Nolan Wolf went out and took care of business just like we asked him to do, just like he should have. And just leading by example. And TJ comes out, gives up quite a bit of weight, right? Does a lot of things right, just gets caught, turning the wrong way one time, and when you're giving up that much weight, it's all it takes. So I can't ask any more out of those guys. So.
All right, awesome. Well, thanks again for joining us. What a fun dual meet it was, and looking forward to seeing how you guys wrestle along the season. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you down the line.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, yep, this is Tyson Wolf, the head coach of Lancaster Flying Arrows, and we have some familiar names. We've got Nolan Wolf and Nolan Hankey with us for some post-match thoughts. Nolan, I got to call quite a bit of your football games, earlier this year, and you were a big battering ram in the backfield there. And now that you've made that switch from football to wrestling, talk about that transition and how football has kind of prepared you for tonight's wrestling action and wrestling for the season.
I mean, football, it helps try to condition you a little bit, but it's nothing compared to wrestling. Wrestling's definitely a lot harder. You have to put in way more work to get to the point that you're at and succeed. Other than that, I mean, weight cut, that's about it.
Yeah, and it's been fun, seeing, how you've wrestled, over the last couple seasons, and an outstanding performance tonight for the Lancaster Flying Arrows, a tough opponent with MFL MarMac. Now that you've seen MFL MarMac the last couple seasons, were there things that you kind of see that they try to strategize, or things that that's kind of common thread as far as what they like to do as a team heading into those individual matchups?
Not really. I don't know. I don't really watch other people. I really don't care. I just go out there, take care of business, and do what I need to do. I don't care to watch other people or nothing like that. Just go do what you need to do.
Yeah, take care of your own. Yeah. Take care of your own stuff and stuff like that. So, with that in mind, what are some of the things that you're going to be working on, as well as some of your teammates moving forward?
We need to work on moving and conditioning. I feel a lot of us are not conditioned the way we should be, and that's a big thing that we need to work on.
All right, awesome. Well, thanks again for joining us, and good luck the rest of the way. We'll now chat with Nolan Wolf. And Nolan, again, congratulations on an outstanding performance, a great team win for you guys this evening. And, obviously, again, got to call quite a bit of the football action for you guys this last year, and, making that transition into wrestling. I know that you were kind of dealing with an injury towards the tail end of the football season as well. Talk about that transition from football to wrestling and what's gotten you ready to have a successful start to the season.
Well, first off, that ended football season injury. Started the wrestling season, took it kind of slow just to get everything back to going, and then after a week and a half or so, just came back full, ready to go, and just training super hard with all the guys in the room, including coaches. That's a big help, when you're wrestling, coaches who obviously know all their stuff and put you in good situations.
Yep, and it was a fun environment, jam-packed. I could tell you guys were feeding off the crowd, and with all the activities and stuff going on tonight. What was it like wrestling tonight in front of the hometown crowd, the spotlight on top of you guys? This is one of the best wrestling environments that we could possibly have. It's kind of unfortunate that this is probably the only scheduled dual meet that you guys have, but just talk about what it means to be wrestling in front of a jam-packed crowd in front of your hometown fans.
It's huge. You got everybody from the community coming out to support you. Some people here don't even know your name or whatever, and they still come out and support you every day, and it's really important, these little kids on here for youth tonight come out and watch high school wrestling, see what everything's about, and get to hopefully have that opportunity when they're older to come wrestle under the spotlight.
All right, we're still in the early part of the season. What are some of the things that you've kind of learned about yourself through these early wrestling matches, and things that you're looking to progress and get better at the rest of the way?
I think from last year to this year, just staying aggressive, never letting my opponent, take that quick break, always staying on them, working hard all over the place, all over the mat and inside that circle, that really helps.
All right, awesome. Well, thanks again for joining us. Congrats on the team victory, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right. Yep, that's Nolan Wolf. Also had Nolan Hankey with us, and Tyson Wolf, the head coach of Lancaster Flying Arrows, kind enough to join us on our post-match show. And Raz, I got to tell you, just covering Nolan Wolf through not just wrestling but football as well. Nolan Hankey, these are some very quality kids. They're very selfless. They really like helping their teammates out, and just quality kids on this Lancaster Flying Arrows wrestling program.
Yep, and there's a lot of good ones. Oops, get around here. A lot of good ones coming up too, so it'll be fun.
Yep, absolutely. So we talked about the match of the meet brought to you by Wolf's Grantland Graphics. Our Tricor Turning Point brought to you by Tricor Insurance. Insurance plans built for you, your family, and your business. Contact Tricor Insurance today. I thought the matchup at 2:15, I think it was when Lancaster took the lead, at least on the mat, and then MFL MarMac did take the lead, but then it was a forfeit that gave Lancaster the win. But that matchup at 2:15, I felt really swung the momentum in Lancaster's direction.
Again, I would agree with you. We kind of knew that as we were approaching that match. It's going to come down to right there, and Jackson Seipel pulled off a big pin, and that was able to pretty much put it away for the Flying Arrows.
All right, we'll call that our Tricor Turning Point. Again, brought to you by Tricor Insurance. Insurance plans built for you, your family, and your business. Contact Tricor Insurance today. Our tough man of the match brought to you by Wolf Construction of Lancaster. Todd Wolf and his crew pride themselves in providing full service to their customers at the highest of quality. Wolf Construction of Lancaster. Any wrestlers that stand out to you as far as MVPs tonight for the Flying Arrows, Raz?
MVPs, I'm not sure, but, you know, other than the match of the meet, as we said, there was only 2 matches that went into the second period, but I'm going to pick the 157-pound match with Braden Lenz and John Martin Saboria as far as being the tough man. Lenz now goes to 7-1 on the season. He comes up with a pin in 1 minute and 10 seconds to move the Flying Arrows on, so that's going to be my choice.
All right, I like it. So we'll call that our tough man of the match, again brought to you by Wolf Construction of Lancaster. Our wrestling action tonight also brought to you by the Peterson Agency in Argyle. Brian Peterson specializing in home, farm, auto, and umbrella policies. We'll take one final timeout. We'll close up shop from Lancaster High School and tell you about the 2 big wrestling duels, or 2 wrestling matches that we have coming up next week on Queen Bee Radio. That's all straight ahead on our post-match show on 97.7 Country WGLR and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel.
Carey Seamless Gutters and Overhead Doors of Belmont and Prairie du Chien is who to call for top-quality CHI overhead doors. Enhance the curb appeal and security of your home by choosing the fine line of CHI overhead doors from Carey. And when it comes to seamless gutters that keep your home protected from water damage, Carey's has you covered too. Visit Carey'sGuttersandDoors.com today to learn more. They'll service all the rest, and they deal in the best. Get your new CHI overhead doors at Carey's Seamless Gutters and Overhead Doors, Belmont and Prairie du Chien.
Tune in to the Southwest Tech Agriculture Farm Show with Bob Mittendorf weekday mornings from 5 to 6 a.m. Bob Mittendorf is the premier agriculture voice in the tri-state area, and he's teamed up with Southwest Tech to give you the latest agricultural news, markets, and a whole lot more. So don't miss the Southwest Tech Agriculture Farm Show with Bob Mittendorf right here on 97.7 Country and WGLR.com. Southwest Tech, this is where you belong. Post-match 3.
Closing up shop from Lancaster High School, the Flying Arrows victorious over MFL MarMac in tonight's high school wrestling duel meet 42-39. Our Grant Regional Health Center and People's State Bank coverage of high school wrestling presented by Cuba City, Darlington, and Kieler Family Dental, and Carey Seamless Gutters and Overhead Doors. Tyler Dictanis and Chuck Rasmussen with you from the Wolf Construction broadcast booth. As a reminder, coming up, we have got girls basketball across our Queen Bee Radio family of stations over on Extreme 107.1 and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel. We have Platteville at Dodgeville. Steve Prestegard with the call of that one again on Extreme 107.1 and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel. And then on Super Hits 106, Potosi Cassville girls basketball at River Ridge. RJ Osterhaus and Tom Nisus with the call of that one again on Super Hits 106 and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel. Basketball tomorrow night, Mineral Point is at Darlington. Big matchup in the Swall on 97.7 Country WGLR. And we have boys basketball, Fenimore at Cuba City on Super Hits 106 and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel. Our next wrestling coverage is a week from today. We have 2 high school wrestling matchups. We have Mineral Point at Fenimore. Monster matchup between 2 ranked programs. That'll be on ESPN Radio, AM 1590 WPVL, and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel. Razzie will be working with Steve Prestegard for that one on Thursday. And then a week from tonight, Lancaster and Ithaca at Darlington. Blackhawk will have that right here on 97.7 Country WGLR and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel. That matchup between Fenimore and Mineral Point, Raz, two ranked programs. Obviously, Fenimore, the top of the class as far as high school wrestling programs, especially in our part of the state. They get bumped up to Division II. They're ranked number 1 in Division II. I don't think Fenimore really cares, what division they're in. They're going to be competitive no matter what. But Mineral Point's got some outstanding wrestlers on their side. Saw Rowan Carey committed to the Badgers yesterday as well. Very fun matchup next week in Fenimore between those two small programs.
Should be an interesting night. Should be fun.
Yep, looking forward to that one again. Lancaster wrestling at Darlington Blackhawk, in addition to Ithaca right here on 97.7 Country WGLR and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel. Well, that'll wrap things up for us here from Lancaster High School. Thanks to Brett Rollins and the entire staff at Lancaster High School for their hospitality and warmth and being gracious hosts as always. Thanks to the co-head coach of MFL, MarMac, Chet Bachman, and Tyson Wolf, the head coach of the Lancaster Flying Arrows, for the pregame interviews and team information. Thanks to all of our sponsors who help us bring high school wrestling to you, and thank you for listening and watching along. This has been Grant Regional Health Center and People's State Bank coverage of high school wrestling presented by Cuba City, Darlington, and Kieler Family Dental, and Carey Seamless Gutters and Overhead Doors on 97.7 Country WGLR FM Lancaster, a Queen Bee radio station. Once again, your final score from Lancaster High School, the Flying Arrows victorious over MFL MarMac, 42-39. For our two-time Hall of Famer Chuck Rasmussen, I'm Tyler Dictanis. Thanks so much for joining us, and good night from Lancaster High School.
Tri-State's best variety of country, 97.7 Country, WGLR FM, Lancaster, serving Platteville, Dubuque, Galena, and beyond.